the questions on anatomy are not going to be asked, to my understanding. Dr. Hemant is here, maybe he can correct, but I think I've understood right. That absolute anatomy will not be asked, maybe little bit here and there. So you don't have to thoroughly learn it by heart, but you have to definitely understand it. Okay. So we go to the next slide. Avni, can you please add Ashmita Pargaonkar?
Ma'am, she's
I'll do
already
that.
waiting.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Wait. Okay, so we go to the next slide, which is physiology. It focuses on events at cellular and molecular level, the chemical and physical principles. Now, we all have been hearing very commonly about the hormones and the hormonal changes in the body, about thyroid hormones. So, cellular and molecular level chemical and physical principles, ये chemical changes है body में जो होते हैं, और उसके जो principles है, ये जो physiology में है, there are lots of things, the chain of events happening in terms of chemical changes in the body, which leads to a particular function in the body in each and every organ, which leads to a particular function of that organ. तो हॉर्मोन्स एक्सेस है, हॉर्मोन्स डेफिशिएंट है, थायराइड TSH हाई है या T3 या T4 हाई है. I'm just giving you a very simple example. There are lot more things here and many more things, which is the whole body is the whole physiology, like the whole body is the whole anatomy. So we cannot just talk about hormones and thyroid. Everything, when we are raising our function neurologically also, there is a chemical change. If you want, if your mind tells you that you want to raise your hand, there is the whole neurochemical changes which is happening, and which is why you are able to raise your hand. So this is in simple terms physiology, physiological process. So let us go now to the structural organization of the body. So one second, I will see the waiting room because this is obstructing me. Pradnya Moge, Ashmita. Uh,
Ma'am, there are nobody in the waiting room.
Nobody in the waiting. So why that thing is troubling me? Okay.
It is small.
Yeah. Okay. So now we go to the levels of structural organization, which is chemical, cellular, tissue, organ system, and organism. Now, what do you mean of that? What do you mean by that? The different levels of structure, how a structure is formed in the body. Now, everybody must have heard of atoms and molecules. So, when I was giving an example of the conception in the woman's womb, there is an egg, there is a sperm which join together. So the separate atoms, they join together to form a molecule. Now the molecule grows due to certain chemicals in the body. So this is called the chemical level, and this molecule grows into a small organelle. Can you all see atom, molecule, organelle, and then a muscle? Everybody can see this? I think you can unmute yourselves
Yes.
to answer, because I want to know that you are following it or not.
Yes,
Yes,
we can
ma'am.
see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yeah.
ma'am.
Only if there is a disturbance in the background in your house, then please mute yourself. Okay. So atoms join together to form a molecule. The molecule grows. Now this is the chemical level of things happening in the body at the structural organization. Okay. Then a small organelle is formed. Again, बच्चे का कुछ एक चीज in the womb will start developing. Everybody knows the development of the child, or you can know it very easily. This is again a simple example. Now from an organelle. Here comes the cellular level and the level of the tissue. So cellular level में यहाँ पर smooth muscle cells बनते हैं जैसे ही growth बढ़ता है. So cells are made up of multiple molecules in the body as written in here. Then it goes to the tissue level. The tissue consists of similar type of cells. If there is one tissue, there are all similar types of cells joined together to form a particular tissue. Now, there are different types of tissues also in the body, which will come subsequently here in the slides, which is when I will tell you. So, this is the tissue level. So, from the smooth muscle and the cellular level, we go to the tissue level. Then the tissue level is also like the smooth muscle tissue, the connective tissue, and the epithelial tissue. The different types of tissues are there. Then you go to the organ level. वो tissue में से पूरा एक organ बनता है, right? और the organs are made up of different types of tissues. अभी अलग-अलग type of tissues they join together and form the organ. Now, if one organ is formed, for example, say liver, ये organ, the organs are made up of different types of tissues, as I read. Now we go to the organ system level, where organ system consists of different organs that work together closely. मतलब ये एक पूरा system बनता है, जैसे respiratory system, जैसे gastrointestinal system, जिसमें gastrointestinal आप बोले तो stomach or liver and spleen and the intestine, all this form together, they conjoin together, they are all different organs with the different sets of tissues amongst them, and then they form the whole system of the body. Now all the systems, they join together and make what? A human organism. This is how the human organism is formed. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. आपको शुरू में थोड़ा फास्ट भी लगेगा और grasping all together at a time, you may find it, but you have got the PowerPoint, you can go through it, you can read it and reread it, and then you can mug up. Okay?
નીલિમા તમારી પાછળની લાઈટ જરા બહુ આંખ પર આવે છે.
Okay. That one.
હા, that light પાછળ વાળી. Yes.
Right? Okay?
Good.
Good.
Sir.
Good. Okay. Now again, in the tabular form, the levels of organization, like chemical, which is the smallest to the largest part we are talking of. So chemicals will have atom and molecules. The cellular will have tissues, organs, systems, and organisms. यहाँ देख सकते हो आप how the system is formed, the gastrointestinal system.
Yes, ma'am.
From the atoms and the molecules, the tissue is formed, then an organelle is formed, and then you see the part of an organ, right? Which is a stomach over here, then all the organs of the digestive system, they join together, and this is where the whole system is, and all the system together in the body. You can see the picture. This is how they form the human body. Okay, so each and every organ is connected internally to your body. As Dr. Hemant was explaining, all the elements in the body are always internally connected. Even all the meridians are internally connected to each other, and this is how the total functioning of the body happens. And then if there is no harmony in one of the meridian, or even over here one of the organs, then there is the chain of harmony is broken. necessary things for the survival and for the physiological and the chemical changes which are required by the body. Okay, so as I said, coming to homeostasis. Now, what is homeostasis? It is maintaining a fairly constant internal environment in spite of changing external environment. Now, what do you understand by this? बाहर अगर बहुत ठंडी है तो अपना बॉडी अंदर का बॉडी का जो मैकेनिज्म है, तो फिजियोलॉजिकल मैकेनिज्म, हियर आई विल नॉट टॉक ऑफ द मैकेनिज्म ऑफ 5 एलिमेंट्स इन होम्योस्टैसिस. I will stick to the physiological changes what would happen. So this is maintaining a fairly constant internal environment. मतलब बाहर अगर बहुत ठंडी है तो आपकी अंदर की हीट अपने आप बढ़ती है when our body is in a homeostatic balance. When our body is not in a homeostatic balance, you start shivering when the other person next to you is not shivering. ओके, सो इसको अटेंड करने फिर तो हम काढ़ा पी सकते हैं, बहुत कुछ पी सकते हैं टू मेंटेन योर internal environment. And that is why again I once again insist that nutrition is so important for even for homeostasis in the body. Okay, so all body systems attempt to maintain homeostasis. Okay, and there are some cellular functions also which will bring the homeostasis in the body forcefully. एक तो न्यूट्रिशन है कि अगर आपको बहुत गर्मी है तो आपको ठंडा पियो. हमारे इंडिया में तो ये लाइक यू नो इट इज अ कल्चर कि आप गर्मी से आए हो तो आपको यू नो दे गिव यू समथिंग कि ओके टेक दिस एंड से. So this is how we have to maintain our environment, internal environment by nutrition also, and I will show you how the cells of the body also act on that. Now, what is disease? Disease is a homeostatic imbalance. I have already told you कि internal homeostatic imbalance अगर होता है तो आपको disease होती है. Now, what are symptoms? Symptoms are the subjective changes that are not apparent to an observer. अभी अगर मुझे headache है तो आपको कैसे पता चलेगा मुझे headache है? Unless I tell you. So this is a symptom. And what are signs? What is the difference? Signs are obvious changes which can be observed or measured by a practitioner. अगर मैं आपके पास हूँ, you are my treater or a healer or a doctor. तो आप जैसे ही मेरा हाथ पकड़ोगे चाहे पल्स के लिए और समथिंग, द फर्स्ट थिंग द डॉक्टर्स डू आल्सो nowadays or even earlier, the good clinical practitioners, they always touch your palms and feel whether they are normal, they are very hot or they are very cold. It is very important, but this is a sign. Sometimes the patient may not tell you कि मेरे हाथ गरम रहते, you can feel it. So this is a sign, and the symptom is that the patient has to tell you उसको क्या होता है. Right? So now we go to the necessary life functions for human, which is again very important to maintain boundaries inside versus outside, movement which is internal and external, responsiveness like the sense changes and respond, which is all what I've told you. The breakdown of food for absorption is digestion. The metabolism is all chemical reactions in the body. Excretion is removal of waste. Reproduction is cellular division. I've explained everything. And the growth is increase in size and parts of the body. So we come back to homeostasis again. And again, homeostasis is the state of steady internal physical and chemical conditions maintained by the living system. Now, this dynamic state of equilibrium is a condition of optimal functioning for the organism and induces many variables such as body temperature, fluid balance being kept within certain preset limits, and other variables include pH of extracellular fluid, concentration of sodium, potassium, calcium, as well as that of blood sugar, and these need to be regulated despite changes in the environment, diet or level of activity. क्या समझे आप इसमें? Can anybody say what have you understood here? Okay, I'll explain.
मैम बीच बीच में हिंदी में बोलिए.
ठीक है, लिखा इंग्लिश में है ना, चलो ठीक है. सो ये होम्योस्टैसिस, ये स्टेट ऑफ इक्विलिब्रियम इन द बॉडी मेंटेन कोई हद तक अपने आप होती है. ये कैसे होती है? ये कंट्रोल होता है, बॉडी में हमारे रेगुलेटर्स होते हैं. ओके, होम्योस्टैटिक मैकेनिज्म्स होते हैं. ये सब की वजह से अगर मैंने अभी बहुत ज्यादा शुगर खाई है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो मेरा ब्लड शुगर टेम्पररी ओके, बट आई विल नॉट गेट डायबिटीज इमीडिएटली, राइट? आई विल नॉट बी लेबल्ड एज अ डायबिटिक पेशेंट ताकि मेरा शुगर कंसिस्टेंटली हाई हो. नो, देयर इज अ mechanism in the body which would digest your sugar, टेक इट अवे, कहीं उसको संभाल के रखेंगे इन नीड, लाइक लिवर स्टोर्स. नियोग्लूकोजेनेसिस, शुगर कम है तो लिवर बनाता भी है विद द फैट एंड अदर थिंग्स इन द बॉडी. सो ये सब इक्विलिब्रियम बॉडी अपने आप भी मेंटेन करती है और हमको भी करना है. अभी हमने बहुत सारा पीएच लेवल के बारे में सुना है. pH level is balanced by no acid level in the body, not to take too much of acid. If you are maintaining, अगर आप pH level आपका अल्कलाइन मेंटेन करते हो तो कम से कम डिजीज आपको इफेक्ट करेगी. ये सब हम न्यूट्रिटिव वैल्यू से कर सकते हैं, लेकिन बॉडी भी अपने आप में बहुत ज्यादा, अगर मैंने अभी नमक खाया तो ये एक्स्ट्रा सेल्यूलर जो फ्लूइड जो बनता है, नमक को कैसे थ्रो करना, ये सब बॉडी का एक मैकेनिज्म, अंदरूनी मैकेनिज्म भी है. हमको बाहर से तो ध्यान रखना है, लेकिन बॉडी भी बहुत हद तक अपने आप को अंदर से बैलेंस करने की कोशिश करती है. सिर्फ ये बैलेंस अगर बियॉन्ड लिमिट जाता है, हम when we are doing something beyond the limits, when the body is not able to cope up, then you go into a disease state. The body breaks down into not able to manage. Furthermore, तभी ही आपको डिजीज होती है. तो हम लोग we are talking of the homeostatic balance which is attained by the body. Okay, so the homeostasis maintain relatively stable internal condition. जैसे बताया, हमारे बॉडी में इनपुट के रिसेप्टर्स भी होते हैं, कंट्रोल इफेक्टर्स, मतलब उसका रिस्पॉन्सिव सेल्स भी होते हैं. आई विल शो यू हाउ. अभी ये पिक्चर आप ध्यान से देखिए. यू कैन सी द सेंटर लाइन, सेंटर ब्लू लाइन, the blue line in the bottom of the tripod, straight, it is a horizontal straight line, सीधी लाइन है which is called the balance, और जो लाइट ब्लू लाइन है वो इम्बैलेंस कही जाती है. जब भी बॉडी में इम्बैलेंस हुआ, जैसे मैंने आपको एग्जांपल बताया कि मैंने अभी बहुत ज्यादा शुगर खा ली, ओके, तो माय बॉडी टेम्पररी गोज इनटू एन इम्बैलेंस स्टेट, जो लाइट ब्लू लाइन है. ओके, अलीशा वीरानी ऐड, प्लीज आस्किंग व्हाट क्वेश्चन पूछो.
Ma'am got added. Thank you.
ओके ओके. सो ठीक है. तो इम्बैलेंस, जो लाइट ब्लू लाइन है विच इज कॉल्ड इम्बैलेंस. Now what happens? You can see number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ये पूरे मैकेनिज्म्स है जो बॉडी करती है अब मेरा शुगर बैलेंस करने को. तो पहले द बॉडी विल गेट द स्टिम्युलस ऑफ टू मच ऑफ शुगर इन माय बॉडी. दिस स्टिम्युलस प्रोड्यूसेस चेंज इन वेरिएबल्स. फिर वहां से एक रिसेप्टर सेल जो हमारी बॉडी में रहता है, मेनली ब्रेन में, तो ये रिसेप्टर न्यूरो पाथवे होता है, एफरेंट पाथवे जिसको कहा जाता है. तो ये रिसेप्टर पाथवे डिटेक्ट करता है कि देयर इज सम चेंज इन द बॉडी. ओके फिर वहां से इनपुट आता है थ्रू द एफरेंट फाइबर्स विच आर लीडिंग टू द कंट्रोल सेंटर विच इज ब्रेन. The input, the information sent along the efferent pathway to the control center. कंट्रोल सेंटर से इफरेंट पाथवे जो आते हैं हमारी बॉडी में, ओके वहां से आउटपुट शुरू होता है. आउटपुट में इंफॉर्मेशन सेंट थ्रू द इफरेंट पाथवे टू द इफेक्टर सेल्स ऑफ द बॉडी. बॉडी में शुगर को लेवल में लाने के लिए इफेक्टर सेल्स होते हैं. We will not go deep into the names of the cells here. Many of you all must be knowing, but I will not mention it here so that we are not confused. Okay, so यहाँ से response शुरू होता है. The response of the effector feedback to reduce the effect of the stimulus. यहाँ पर stimulus का meaning होता है too much of glucose or sugar, and return variable to the homeostatic balance or level. Okay. तो या यू नो जैसे ब्रेन को मैसेज पहुंचता है कि बहुत सारी शुगर गई है तो वहां इफेक्टर पाथवे किसको बोलता है. हियर आई कैन टेल यू इट कैन बी एन इंसुलिन सेल्स आइलेट्स ऑफ लैंगरहांस. तो वहां से शुगर को एब्जॉर्ब करने के लिए it is given away to the body little more than usual, and this is how the sugar is digested. Clear? आगे भी एग्जांपल्स है उसके. दिस वाज द
Ma'am, once more repeat, no, apparent and afferent pulse. Just repeat once more.
ये वापस दूसरी स्लाइड में है. इफ यू वांट टू
Okay.
अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट द
Okay.
होम्योस्टैसिस, दिस इज अ प्रिसाइज एग्जांपल दैट वाज द क्रॉस अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ओके so you can
Okay.
again see the line of balance, you can see the line of imbalance. अभी यहाँ पर imbalance क्या है? The body temperature is rising. Right? Can you all read? Then the body temperature, the receptor cells of the body will come to know. The receptor cells here are temperature sensitive cells in the skin and in the brain. ये टेम्परेचर के रिसेप्टर सेल्स कहाँ पर है? हमारी स्किन में और ब्रेन में. ओके नाउ थ्रू दिस रिसेप्टर सेल्स, स्किन में तो पता चलता ही है ना टेम्परेचर हाई है तो. It is very simple. Even the brain will know. So from here, the information through the afferent A है, okay? Afferent A, which sends messages from the body to the control center or the brain. They are called afferent. So ये afferent pathway, neurological pathways है यहाँ ये, okay? So it goes to the control center, which is the brain. और brain में there is a specific cell which is called the thermoregulatory cell. Thermoregulatory मतलब thermo मतलब temperature, regulatory मतलब उसको regulate करने के लिए. तो ये thermoregulatory cell को ये मैसेज पहुंचता है और वहां से ये मैसेज through the efferent pathway, E, the nerve pathway, it is a neurological pathway, the information sent along with the efferent pathway to the effector cells, which are the sweat glands of the body. हमको फीवर आता है और हम अगर क्रोसिन खाते हैं तो पसीना होता है कि नहीं? तो दिस इज द सेम मैकेनिज्म जो थोड़ी हद तक अपने आप होता है, लेकिन अपने आप जब नहीं होता है, बैलेंस जाता है, दैट इज द टाइम यू हैव टू टेक क्रोसिन. इसलिए हम एज डॉक्टर्स वी डोंट टेल पीपल कि आपको 99 पॉइंट समथिंग लिटिल बिट ऑफ फीवर एंड स्टार्ट टेकिंग क्रोसिन. नो, लेट योर बॉडी एक्ट, let your fever come down if at all with the bodily action on its own. Otherwise, if the fever is going beyond 100, beyond 101, which is not controllable, rising, that is the only time you have to take some medications for that. तो पहले अपना बॉडी का होम्योस्टैटिक मैकेनिज्म को हर चीज में एक्ट होने देना चाहिए. एंड सेम अप्लाइज अगेन टू एक्यूपंक्चर नीडलिंग. Okay, you have to be always, this is a tip for you all, that when the patient comes to you at the first stage with little bit of just imbalance, little bit, which can be covered up by the body, don't go and in the first instance start needling the patients or start treating the patients कि नहीं आपको अभी ठीक हो जाएगा, आप ये कर दो, ये कर दो, ये 2-4 needle यहाँ मार देता हूँ, अच्छा हो जाएगा. No, no, no. Wait and watch. If it is an acute condition, if it is a chronic condition, definitely you have to start treating the patient from day one. नहीं तो घाई मत करो पेशेंट को, हर चीज में आपकी ही ट्रीटमेंट की जरूरत है ये मत समझना. The body acts on its own. Give them a good diet, give them a good nutrition, good advice, water intake, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. मेडिटेशन कराओ, ब्रीदिंग कराओ, तो होम्योस्टैटिक मैकेनिज्म बॉडी का अपने आप एक्ट करेगा एंड सर्टेन थिंग्स विल बी क्योर्ड ऑन इट्स ओन. Okay, so now coming back, the effector cells go and wake up the sweat glands. Now the sweat glands get activated. The evaporation of the sweat, body temperature, with the evaporation of the sweat, the body temperature reduces and the stimulus ends and it comes back to normal, falling down. ये एक cycle हुई for the body temperature to come back to normal. Now, temperature sensitive cells in the skin and the brain, again we go to the negative cycle. ये negative imbalance में temperature sensitive cells in the skin and the brain through the afferent fibers again go to the thermoregulatory center in the brain. अगर ये बढ़ गया and through the efferent fibers, the information sent along the efferent pathway to the effector muscles. बॉडी टेम्परेचर जब बहुत कम हो जाता है, ये तब की बात है when the temperature goes keep on going down down down. So when the temperature is low, this is the reverse cycle which also happens in the body to normalize. This is actual homeostasis. Okay, तो जो बॉडी टेम्परेचर कम होते जाता है उसके बाद अगेन थर्मोरेगुलेटरी सेंटर पे जाता है through the efferent pathway and through the efferent pathway again हमारे बॉडी के skeletal muscles को मैसेज पहुंचता है. ओके, तो तभी शिवरिंग बिगिन होता है और जब शिवरिंग बिगिन होता है तो बॉडी टेम्परेचर कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होता है मसल्स के. Logically happening in our body. Understood? Clear? Clear or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So one more
Yes, ma'am.
example. Okay, thank you. One
Yes,
more
ma'am.
example. बॉडी में कहीं इंजरी होती है, आप गिरे हो, आपकी ब्लड वेसल, यू कैन सी number 1 up there. The blood vessel break and then there is bleeding in the body. What happens? The positive feedback में platelets वहां पर जमा हो जाते हैं, blood vessels जहां ब्रेक हुई है वहां पर, and वहां से केमिकल रिलीज होते हैं और उसके बाद the platelets plug in that broken area and adhere to it to seal it, right? So this is how the second this thing aspect of homeostasis is given. This is how the body acts. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, okay. Now we go to the language of anatomy. Positions. Important to understand. Okay. Now, what is the normal anatomical position? The erect body, as you're seeing, आपके left side का picture देखिए, feet slightly apart, palm facing forwards, okay, and thumbs pointing out. This is what you are saying is normal anatomical position of the body. Okay. These are all the areas of the body given. You can read it, or even I can make you understand little bit, but it is going to come ahead also. So I will do it later. Let us come back to the aspects जो आपको जरूरी होगा when you are talking to even a doctor. Sometimes you get the references from the doctors and you should know कि कौन से एरिया में पेशेंट को क्या है, to understand. So this is called the cranial or the superior. The inferior area, which is the caudal area. Caudal means the tail, in short. So it is the lower part of the area. So upper and lower, these are superior and inferior. The ventral, which is the anterior part of the area, and dorsal, which is the posterior part. यहाँ हम अगर बोलने जाए तो ventral is the yin aspect of the body and dorsal is the yang aspect of the body. Okay. To even know the positions and the placements of the point, this nomenclature is very, very important. Now, medial is the inner side. See, this is my position, anatomical normal position. So this is my medial, this is my lateral. Everybody can see this is the medial, which is closer to the body, and proximal to the body is called lateral. Abhi medial or lateral ka position will depend on the anatomical true anatomical position of the body जो मैंने आपको समझाया. Palms forward, thumbs outward, legs little apart, okay, and standing erect. So the medial and the lateral line, the intermediate, of course, the center one, the proximal is towards the body, the distal is away from the body. So point के locations ये नाम पे based होंगे कि this is the proximal point or this is the distal point. Then there is a superficial which is external, and then there is deep which is internal. So the axial and the appendicular and the sagittal planes of the body, which is coming ahead. Now, the regional terms. The axial is the main part of the body, that is head, neck, and trunk. You can see that the axial, which is blue in color. The head, the neck, and the trunk. You can see the ribs. You can see the whole spine. Okay. And the one which is pink in color is called appendicular. That is appendages. यहाँ पर let me tell you, the protrusions, these are called the appendages, the protrusions, and this is called the axial part. The trunk part is called the axial part. So this is the axial part and this is the appendicular part when we consider this as a body. Okay, but let us not go there right now. You can see the whole body structure and you can understand what is axial and what is appendicular skeleton. We talk of the body planes now. Body planes are imaginary. Yeah? ये body में actual planes नहीं है, ये imaginary planes है जिससे हमको ठीक से body का division पता चले. ये अंदर से divided ऐसे नहीं है body. Okay, these are the imaginary planes, flat surface. Another, the sagittal, which is the midline plane, the transverse, which is the horizontal plane, and the frontal, which is left right plane of the body. Okay, ये plane को imagine करना इसलिए जरूरी है कि from here on we will understand the structures properly, differentiated by the plane. Let us go to the body cavities. The dorsal, you know what is dorsal now. You know the dorsal is the yang side of the body. Now, dorsal body cavity में cranial cavity, the cavity of the brain, cranial cavity कहा जाता है, along with the vertebral spinal cavity. Spinal में और brain में fluid है, CSF है, ये तो सबको पता है. There are ventricles in the brain also which contain fluids. आप सबने सुना होगा कि CSF, you know, जो testing होता है for meningitis or anything related to a brain where you get some jerks or some infection, fever not coming down, ये सब के लिए हम CSF का testing करते हैं. तो ये cranial cavity का fluid है which goes along the spine and which is called a cavity. Her एक चीज जो बॉडी में होती है जिसमें फिलअप हो जाता है उसको कैविटी बोलते हैं, which is got a space in between to fill it up, which is called the cavity. Now we go to the ventral body cavity, which is in the front. Ventral means the yin aspect of the body, which is in the front. अभी वो thoracic cavity है, वो lung, heart, trachea, esophagus, ये सब thoracic cavity में है. And then there is abdominopelvic cavity, जिसमें digestive system organs है, reproductive system and organs है, और जिसमें lower down in the pelvis, even the urinary and all that. So these two are the ventral body cavities, the thoracic and abdominopelvic cavity. Or dorsal body cavity is cranial cavity, the cavity of the brain, and vertebral and spinal cavity. Okay. So this is just the repeat. You can just go through the slide क्योंकि यहाँ वही लिखा है. The cranial cavity which contains the brain, the dorsal body cavity which is the vertebral cavity containing the spinal cord, फिर the thoracic cavity which contains heart, lungs and the other pertaining organs to that system, and then the division in between the thoracic and the abdominal cavity is the diaphragm. So diaphragm का marking आपको clear. It is a different type of muscle which separates the thoracic into abdominal cavity. और ये भी मैंने कहा कि abdominal cavity contains the digestive system and the other viscera, and the pelvic cavity contains urinary bladder, reproductive organs, rectum, anus, and all those. Okay. So let us go. These were the main body cavities. Now let us go to the other body cavities. वो भी cavities है, like oral, the cavity of the mouth. It contains teeth and the tongue. With the nasal cavity, it contains a part of the upper airways behind, like larynx, pharynx, and all that. Then the orbital, aankh ki cavity, which contains eyeball and various nerve and blood vessels. Middle ear cavity, कान के अंदर भी cavity है, जो जहाँ पर कान के अंदर के छोटे-छोटे bones वगैरह है. And then there are synovial cavities found in freely movable joints, like the large joints of shoulder, hip, and knee joint. Clear? तो ये दूसरी सब body cavities हैं. अब हम जाएंगे membranes के ऊपर. Membranes are the linings which cover the viscera. अलग-अलग टाइप के membranes के नाम है serosa, the parietal, and the visceral. Now, parietal serosa it lines the ventral body cavity and outer surfaces of the organs, as I told you. Okay. Now, parietal serosa it lines the cavity wall. जैसे मैंने कहा cavity है, तो cavity ऐसे ही तो नहीं बनती ना. अंदर जब होल है, जैसे आप यहाँ पिक्चर में आपको बलून दिखाया गया है, तो बलून के बाहर का एक लेयर होता है, कैविटी होता है, which For example, when we are talking of the heart, the parietal, it lines the cavity wall. Heart की बाहर की जो cavity है, the thoracic cavity, उसको parietal cavity का layer होता है, और उसके अंदर जो heart है, वो हार्ट के ऊपर भी एक लाइनिंग होती है, एक मेम्ब्रेन होती है, विच इज कॉल्ड द विसरल सिरोजा. मतलब हार्ट इज अ विसेरा, उसका कवरिंग को विसरल सिरोजा बोलते हैं, और ये पूरा जो कैविटी होता है उसको ऊपर कवर्ड, तो उसकी जो लाइनिंग होती है उसको पराइटल सिरोजा बोलते हैं. अंडरस्टूड? आपने सुना होगा कि लंग्स में पानी भर, वो लंग्स के अंदर पानी नहीं भरता है, लंग्स के बाहर की जो कैविटी होती है, द विसरल कैविटी विच इज कॉल्ड द प्लूरल कैविटी. लंग्स और प्लूरल कैविटी के हमेशा बीच में फ्लूइड रहता है टू स्टॉप द फ्रिक्शन. हर विसरा के बाद जो कैविटी रहती है उसमें म्यूकोजल लाइनिंग होती है, उसमें म्यूकोजल थिक फ्लूइड रहता है, पतला सा, जो फ्रिक्शन से, लाइक व्हेन वी आर ब्रीदिंग, तो ये कैविटी के बीच में, हार्ट का प्रोटेक्टिव कैविटी के बीच में अगर थोड़ा सा फ्लूइड नहीं होगा तो इट विल ये करेगी, क्रैकलिंग करेगी, एंड देयर इज नो यूज ऑफ दैट कैविटी अनलेस इट इज मॉइस्टन्ड with the mucus. So this is how when we breathe, there is a very clear and short, unfrictioned movement of all the organs. तो हर एक विसरा के बाद ऐसे एक फ्लूइड की कैविटी होती है जो उसका मूवमेंट फ्रिक्शनलेस हो और इजी हो, उसके लिए होता है. So this is the important of the membranes of the body. Okay, now the serous fluid inside, it is called the serous fluid. It lubricates the space between membranes and the organs. Okay, as I told you. So you can see the parietal and the visceral pericardium around the heart here for better understanding. There is a picture here. Hope I'm clear here. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, madam.
So now, so you know, God का mechanism देखो. आप लंग्स को ब्रीथ करना है तो प्लूरल कैविटी उसको सपोर्ट करेगी ब्रीदिंग के लिए और फंक्शनलेस के लिए. हार्ट को करना है, इवन द डाइजेस्टिव ऑर्गन्स व्हेन इट हैज टू फंक्शन of the movement, how it is so nicely supported by the fluid. So there is a frictionless movement of the whole body, right? So now we go to the quadrants of the body. Quadrants, abdominopelvic quadrants है, you know, diaphragm के नीचे से राइट साइड में दो quadrants है, right upper quadrant and right lower quadrant, and then there is left upper quadrant and left lower quadrant. ये quadrant इसलिए कहा गया है क्योंकि there are specific organs which we can palpate in the particular quadrant, and we know on palpation. Patient आपके पास मुझे राइट साइड में इधर ऊपर की साइड पे पेन है, so you should know which organ is situated there, placed there, and you can relate it to your diagnosis, and that is why the body is divided into quadrants. Now we come to the regions. ये quadrants आप देख सकते हैं, आप anatomically you can see what is situated where. On the right side, right upper quadrant is liver and little bit of the part of gallbladder. Right lower में there is an ascending colon of large intestine, then there is a part of small intestine, you can see it. According to the regions it is named here, you can see the blue line in between and the 6 regions there. So I will explain you the 6 regions first. Right hypochondrium, you can see upper right is called the right hypochondrium. The center is called epigastric region, and the left upper is called left hypochondriac region. फिर we come to the center line. Center where you have your umbilicus is called the umbilical region. Then the right side towards the umbilical is called the lumbar region. And then there is a left lumbar region. On the lower side, right iliac region, or it is also called an inguinal region क्योंकि वहाँ पर inguinal area है. The lower, the pubic region is the hypogastric region, and then there is the left iliac region. Now here you can see the organs situated there. Like right hypochondriac में क्या है? तो liver है. आप देख सकते हैं liver and a part of gallbladder. फिर center में umbilical region में क्या है? All the loops of the small intestines mainly, and little bit of transverse colon, upper transverse colon. Again, we go down on the right side in the center when you saw ascending colon, and lower down is cecum and appendix. So right side, right lower iliac region में कोई पेन लेके आया तो you should know कि शायद उसको appendix का पेन है वहाँ पर. So this is how you can understand and judge for your diagnosis. Again, center में lower में it is a pubic region. You can see the urinary bladder and even the little bit of the sigmoid colon. So on the left side there is a descending colon in the center. You can see the transverse colon, and in the epigastric region you can see mainly the stomach. So पेशेंट आपको आके यही बोलेगा मेरे पेट में दुखता है. अरे पेट में कौन से रीजन में? देन यू कैन जज वेदर इट इज अ पेन एट द लिवर रीजन, वेदर देयर इज अ पेन at the colon region or the pubic region. Everything is called pet here. So pet is not necessarily stomach. Pet means epigastric. Stomach is epigastric region. Mainly acidity वगैरह का pain you get in the epigastric region. Now we come to the individual systems of the body. One after the other, we take up all the systems. You need a pause for 5 minutes. बहुत हो गया? Do I go slow?
Yes, 5-minute break,
Yes,
please.
5 minutes break.
5 पूरा minutes नहीं दूंगी, 2-3 minute दूंगी.
Okay, okay.
Just have a pause. Have a drink of water. I drink water. Okay.
असं काहीतरी लावायला लागेल. नाही ते रुमाल ठेवायला पाहिजे. कुठं गेला?
Okay, so we have to do all the systems, all back. We'll be doing skeletal system, we'll be doing muscular system, nervous system, respiratory system, circulatory, lymphatic, endocrine, digestive, reproductive, integumentary. I'll tell you what is that, excretory, immune system. All the systems we are supposed to do. What is an organ system? It is a group of organs that work together to perform a certain function and organism of the body. मैंने शुरुआत में ही बताया what is organ system. It is the group of organs which work together. Most animals and plants have organs which are self-contained group of tissues such as heart that work together to perform one function. Humans and other mammals have got many organ systems. An example of an organ system in a circulatory system which includes heart, arteries, veins and capillaries. Correct? The human body has got 11 different organ systems. Now let us go to the skeletal system first. It is composed, skeletal system is composed of what? पूरा skeleton जो आपने पहले देखा वो composed of bones, joints है, then there are cartilages, then there are ligaments and tendons. बरोबर? One second. Hello. ये देखो ना how these two screens are there. Can you stop your videos please? दत्तात्रय तुमचा video on आहे. Video off करा ना. Hello. Because it comes, I can see the video. That's okay. Now okay. So it is composed of bones, joints, cartilages, ligaments, and tendons. You all know that. This all comes into the skeletal system. Now, what is the major function of the skeletal system? It supports the body. सीधा बात है. आपका एक पैर अगर टूटा, एक घुटना भी आपका टूटा, आपका बॉडी टेढ़ा हो जाएगा. It will not be in a normal erect posture. Even if your knee joint is broken, so joint also comes there. पूरा skeleton एक दूसरे से attached नहीं होगा, पूरा एक formation नहीं होगा उसका, तो हमारी body erect भी नहीं रह पाएगी. एक vertebra हमारा नहीं होगा spine में, तो हम थोड़े झुके हुए होंगे. So this is all the function of the skeletal system, and the bones, joints, cartilages, ligaments and tendons all together make you stand erect. It facilitates the movement. It protects. Important function of the skeletal system is it protects the internal organs. बाहर bones है, तो ही internal soft organs or the viscera are supported. The bones, the skeletal system also produces blood cells. You all know that. Bone marrow वगैरह blood cell production bones में से होता है. Minerals are stored in blood, in the skeletal system. Even the fat is stored. Okay. So these are all the main functions of the skeletal system. याद रखना बहुत जरूरी है. Now we come to each and individual bones. Gross, we are doing it grossly now, but this much at least you should know. When we go on the anterior part of the body, the front part of the body, okay, this is a skull. जो front से भी दिखता है, posterior से भी दिखता है. Then you know. This is the sternum, the center line, जहाँ हार्ट का सर्जरी के वक्त sternum को काट के the whole skeletal is open. From the sternum दोनों area open होके हार्ट पे assess होता है for the bypass surgery. Then this collarbone is called the clavicle. ये जो हाथ के जो बोन्स है, ऑफ कोर्स ये शोल्डर वगैरह बाद में आएंगे, बट दिस इज कॉल्ड ह्यूमरस, राइट? हाथ का ऊपर का बोन इज कॉल्ड ह्यूमरस. एंड देन on the hand there are two bones, the radius and the ulna, the radius and the ulna. फिर इसको क्या बोलते हैं? the carpal bones. Okay, then there are metacarpals. ये जो bones है, these are called metacarpals. All can see these are carpal bones which form the wrist. Then there are 5 long bones here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are called metacarpals, and these are called phalanges. Fingers को phalanges बोलते हैं. So you know humerus, हाथ के क्या bones है? Humerus, radius, ulna, carpal bones, metacarpal bones, and phalanges. You should know this much, क्योंकि location of points में ये ही आएगा सब. So you should remember. This is clavicle, collarbone. This is the skull. Okay. This is called, the center bone is called the sternum, और sternum के बाजू में the whole cage is there, which is connected to the spine behind, which is called the rib cage. ये solid structure जो है उसके अंदर heart, lungs, all are very nicely, उसके ऊपर सेरोजा वगैरह है, the fluid है, and they are placed in a such a safe and a compact manner in the body. Okay, then we go lower down. There is a pelvic girdle. I cannot show you. You can show it in the, you can see it in the picture. The whole pelvic girdle. ये pelvic girdle क्या है? पीछे हमारे hip के ऊपर इतना ये प्लेट है, which is called ischium. Ischium. ये प्लेट पूरा हिप के ऊपर है. उसके आगे there is a thin layer which is called ileum, and then you can see it simultaneously. I will go into details. It is not there in this picture. ये picture मैं ठीक से बताऊंगी. But the whole thing is like this, covered up, and it is called the pelvic girdle. और pelvic girdle के अंदर nicely, safely placed are uterus, urinary bladder, and the other part of the body. Okay, we go lower down to the pelvic girdle. The upper thigh bone is called femur. A long bone, a thick bone is called femur. Femur के नीचे है knee joint पूरा. Knee joint के नीचे वापस दो bones है, which is called tibia and fibula. Now tibia is on the lateral side, the fibula, the thin small bone, is in the medial side. Okay, so tibia, fibula. Right, on the back side एक triangular plate है behind, which is called scapula. Of course, there are ribs also attached to the spine behind. Lower down, as I told you, ileum is two plates of bones, and then there is ischium, and then there is pubic rami. This whole thing makes the pelvic girdle, the whole cavity. Fine. So these are the bones. You should remember the names. Now we go to the muscular system. It consists of skeletal muscles. That means the muscle which are attached to the bones of the skeleton. जो bones हमने अभी सब पढ़े, वो skeletal के bones के साथ जो attached है, उसको skeletal muscles बोलते हैं. Then there are smooth muscles. Smooth muscles जो हमारे सब viscera, organs के surrounding है. And then there is one specific muscle which is called a cardiac muscle, जो heart में है. Heart के muscles को cardiac muscle बोलते हैं. All other viscera have got smooth muscles, and the body bones have got the skeletal muscles attached to them. Now, what is a function? The 5 primary functions of the muscular system are, of course, like the skeleton, the movement of the body. The muscles also maintain the body temperature. Muscle layer अपना thick होगा तो बाहर का external environment का effectivity body में ज़्यादा पड़ेगा. So internally, it doesn't allow even the internal heat to come out. क्योंकि body requires heat to maintain its the value, the nutritive value, and to perform the chemical functions. Now, these muscles, along with bones, also maintain the posture and the body position. सिर्फ बोन से पोजीशन मेंटेन नहीं होती है, उसके सराउंडिंग में जो मसल्स होते हैं दैट फॉर्म्स द होल बॉडी. इट प्रोटेक्ट्स द ऑर्गन्स, ऑफ कोर्स यू नो. और मसल्स में जो ब्लड वेसल्स है वो ब्लड वेसल्स इंश्योर मसल का मूवमेंट मत करो, आप चलो मत. क्या होता है? इंटरमिटेंट क्लॉडिकेशन, वेरिकोज वेन्स क्यों होता है? Because the muscles are not contracting and expanding properly. That means the blood in the blood vessels goes stagnant because of the lack of movement, and in the veins it happens कि बहुत blood move नहीं होता है through the walls. You know, veins have got valves which, you know, with the movement of your extremities, which will push the blood ahead. तो वो वाल्व्स डिसफंक्शन हो जाते हैं. बहुत सारा वेन्स में अगर प्रेशर बढ़ता है तो द वाल्व्स विल गो डिसफंक्शन, एंड दिस इज हाउ यू गेट वेरिकोज वेन्स. तो इंटरमिटेंट क्लॉडिकेशन और वेरिकोज वेन्स का पेन मसल मूवमेंट नहीं है इसके लिए होता है. एंड द सेम वे द होल बॉडी needs movement to ensure the blood supply to each and every part of the body. If there is no movement, the body organs will not get the circulation and reaching of the blood. Chi blood body fluid आपने किया. You know how chi moves and how blood moves. You have learned that. So this aids in that. If your body doesn't move, the chi and the blood also go stagnant and they don't move. The organs suffer, and this is how you get disease. So the muscles, the skeletal muscle, the movement of the skeletal muscle is equally important to allow the chi and the blood also to move. Okay, energy hai, energy system is also there, but there is a limit to everything. Only one person cannot function, only keep on functioning for the body. You know, you need, that is why exercise is equally important to move your chi and blood. और एक्सरसाइज का मतलब क्या है? You are moving your muscles, you are contracting and expanding your muscles, and this is how there is the blood flow which is reaching the organs properly. So this muscle, the muscular system, ensures the blood flow in the body, provided you keep it moving. One second.
मैडम किसी का आवाज चालू है, शिंदे मैडम का शायद. थोड़ा सा म्यूट करने के लिए बोलिए ना प्लीज.
Yeah, please mute yourself. I don't want to force mute you all. क्यों गड़बड़ हो जाती है फिर
जो भी बोलना है तभी अनम्यूट कीजिए.
हाँ हाँ.
मैम थोड़ा जोर से बोलिए.
Okay, so now we go to the nervous system. Nervous system includes brain, spinal cord, autonomic and somatic nervous system, and all sensory organs. Brain, spinal cord तो आपको पता है. Autonomic nervous system, आप हार्ट को बोलते हो क्या? आप चलो, मैं बोलता हूँ इसके लिए, खुद ब खुद चलता है ना. What is the breathing mechanism? किसी ने आपको कहा कि ब्रीदिंग स्टॉप करो, आप कितनी देर तक स्टॉप कर सकते हो? You start on your own. So this is the function of the autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system, जैसे मैंने पहले बताया, your brain tells your arm to move. If
Ma'am,
you want
little
to-
voice.
Okay. आपका phone का voice check करो ना पहले.
Full
If,
है मैडम.
anybody cannot hear properly, tell
मैम
me.
की वो
I have to be louder.
मैम की वॉइस बराबर
Here,
है.
madam. We can
मैम
hear.
की वॉइस बराबर है. वो जिनको
Okay.
प्रॉब्लम है उनका वॉइस कम है. मैम की वॉइस
हाँ, आप check करो. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I was coming to, okay, what is somatic nervous system? I told you. These are the different types of nerves in the body and all the sensory organs. Touch किया तो आपको heat या cold feel होता है. This is called the sensory organ. Even the smell, you get different types of smells. So these are all the sensory organs. These are all the part of the nervous system. Now, 5 main functions of the nervous system are to collect sensory inputs from the body and external environment. इसका मीनिंग आप अच्छे से अभी समझ जाओगे कि सेंसरी इनपुट, जैसे मैंने पहले ही आपको एग्जांपल में बताया कि सडन फियर एंड यू स्टार्ट मूविंग, दिस इज द सेंसरी इनपुट. You sense something, external environment, say, and you start acting over it. This is called the sensory input. Second is to protect and interpret the sensory input. ये भी तो काम nervous system का ही है ना. कोई आया तो आप move कैसे करोगे? It is to interpret. ये क्या है? Okay. For a moment, if somebody close to you wants to come and hug you, पहले आप ऐसे fear करोगे. Then if somebody is hugging you, the interpretation of the sensory nerve becomes different, and it tells you, no, it's for good, don't fear. Okay, this is a work of the nervous system again. To respond appropriately to the sensory input. यही है जो मैंने बताया अभी. To respond appropriately, whether happily hug somebody or be fearful and get away from somebody. Stabilizing and maintaining mental activity. Mental activity maintain करने के लिए बहुत सारे chemicals and even hormones रहते हैं which stabilizes, and this is the part of the nervous system. The chemicals of the nervous system. Okay, secretion of good hormones, secretion of bad hormones. This is all the part. All the types of क्या बोलते हैं expressions is the part of the nervous system. In one movie, I don't remember the name of the movie, any person who is depressed, you don't want to label it that the person is depressive and a psychotic. No, it is just the chemical change which has happened in your nervous system, and you can correct it with good vibes. Even by acupuncture treatment, you can create, you can input some good positive homeostatic vibes. So I don't know, एक मूवी में था खाली chemical changes body में होता जाता है. So I remember that. So that is the function of the nervous system. Now the last function, the fifth one, is controlling all 3 muscle types and glands. All the glands of the body are controlled by the nervous system and all the 3 types of the muscles. Now you remember what are the 3 types of muscles? बोलो 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 बोलो, unmute करो जल्दी, पीछे मत जाना.
Smooth muscle, striated muscle, and third I don't remember.
Skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. Okay, striated, non-striated are there. I will differentiate it later. But right now what we have learned is skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. Okay. So nervous system, little bit for you to remember. Cerebellum and the spinal cord, और spinal cord में से जो nerves निकलती है for the skeletal system. The nerves, there is a brachial plexus here, जहाँ से जो cervical nerves यहाँ से बाहर आती है at C3, C4, C5, C6, C7 levels. They all join here at the brachial plexus. Can you all read brachial plexus? Okay. और ये brachial plexus में से radial, ulnar and medial nerve. There are 3 nerves of the hand which are, distributed from the brachial plexus. Okay. So then there are some subcostal nerves around the costal area. Then there are intercostal nerves in between the ribs. There are intercostal muscles and the nerves coming out. They all come out from the spinal cord. Then there is also a lumbar plexus. You know the lumbar area, lumbar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertebrae, and there is a plexus. All the nerves are coming out from there, and there is a plexus from which the sciatic nerve also comes out, and the parts of the sciatic nerves, common peroneal, deep peroneal, superficial peroneal, from the main branch of the sciatic nerve. And then there are other nerves like sacral plexus के nerves है, the femoral, the femur bone मैंने थाई में आपको बताया था, तो femoral nerve है, pudendal is the nervous, this thing of the pudenda, of the lower region of your pelvic organs. And then there is a saphenous nerve also going all along the saphenous vein, which is a main vein mainly seen on the lower limb. We go to the fourth system, which is the respiratory system. It includes nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and lungs. So you know the respiratory system begins from the nose, and then from behind the upper part of your throat, which is visible when you open your mouth, which is a pharyngeal cavity. Below down, there is larynx, which is got the voice box. The larynx goes down, and the trachea, from the larynx begins the trachea. The trachea divides into the bronchus to the left lung and the right lung, and then of course there are lungs, which are part of the respiratory system. The 5 main functions of the respiratory system are inhalation, breathing in, exhalation, breathing out. Okay, so inhalation and exhalation, what we are doing is called pulmonary ventilation. The breathing, what we are doing is called pulmonary respiration. Now, the external respiration exchanges gases between the lungs and the bloodstreams, and the internal respiration exchanges gases between the bloodstream and the body tissue. So, the gas which we take in from externally, lungs में जो जाता है, which passes into the bloodstream through your inhalation and exhalation activity, and of course the muscles surrounding, as I told you, would help to do that. So from lungs to the bloodstream, and then there is an internal respiration also happening, which exchanges gases between the bloodstream and the body tissue. Okay, exchange of gases मतलब ऑक्सीजन एब्जॉर्ब होता है और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बाहर आता है उसी से. Okay, so these are the 2 types of respiration, the external and the internal respiration. The air vibrating through the vocal cord also creates sound. So this is also one of the functions of respiratory system. Okay, again, olfaction or smelling is again the chemical sensation, right, from the nose. You can see it here, the nasal cavity, then there are paranasal sinuses, then these are called nostrils, then the mouth is called the oral cavity, where you can see the pharynx there, the larynx below that, then there is trachea, you can see the trachea, the bifurcation there into the bronchi, the bronchus, the right and the left. Lungs के अंदर alveoli है, there is a left lung and a right lung. Then you can see the parietal pleura and the ribs surrounding it. So this is all the respiratory system. Now we go to the circulatory system. It includes our heart, blood vessels, and blood. 5 major functions of circulatory system are transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. As I just told you, from the bloodstream to the organs. Okay? Distribution of nutrients. हम जो खाते हैं, न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं बॉडी में, वो ब्लड वेसल से एब्सॉर्ब होते हैं और डिफरेंट बॉडी पार्ट्स को पहुंचते हैं. एंड देन जो वेस्ट फूड का जो बच जाता है वो भी ट्रांसपोर्ट होके थ्रू यूरिन इट कम्स आउट. The circulatory system also maintains the body temperature. Like the skeletal muscles, the circulatory system also maintains the body temperature. And then, of course, it also does the function of circulation of the hormones. You can see the whole circulatory system from the heart. You can see the capillaries of the head and the limbs and the lower abdominal. You can see the network of capillaries surrounding both the lungs. You can see the aorta. You can see the pulmonary vein, the right atrium, the left atrium. Right? Let's go to the lymphatic system. Now, lymphatic system consists of lymph vessels, lymph nodes, spleen, and thymus. Thymus is a gland which is situated, it goes rudimentary after a certain age. So, lymph vessels, of course, contains lymph nodes, and the main function of the lymphatic system is to filter bacteria, the foreign material which enters our body are being removed, the toxins and any other harmful material is also removed from the lymphatic system. It drains away excess fluid to prevent water clogging of the tissues and cells. So, जो भी एक्स्ट्रा फ्लूइड होता है, जो वाटर क्लॉगिंग वगैरह अपने टिश्यूज और सेल्स में होता है, which is drained by the circulation of the lymphatic system. It also transports protein back into the blood supply. It produces antibodies to fight bacteria. It's very important, the lymphatic system, and it absorbs fat from the intestine and transports it to the liver. So this is the work of the lymphatic system. जो बहुत सारा fat होता है, lymphatic system will start working over it, take up all the fat and store it, transport and store it in the liver. So this fat which is stored, excess fat, anything in excess is bad. But this fat which is stored in liver, sometimes it emergency when you're starving and all, it breaks down and releases energy and glucose in the body, which starts giving you energy again. If you know, if some people are Jain here, when they do 8 days of fasting or something continuously, they feel very weak for 1 or 2 days, when they start fasting. But after the 3rd or the 4th day, this is where the fat stored in the liver starts breaking down and start releasing energy in the body, and then they can aram se survive for 8 days or so, how much ever the liver function is good of yours. So this is how, first 2-3 days अगर आप निकाल देते हो, तो उसके बाद, this process of neoglucogenesis starts in the liver and you start getting energy from inside the body. We can call this also the homeostatic function of the body, right? So the fat is stored in the liver, but too much of fat being stored to fatty liver bhi ho sakta hai, which is not good. So everything in balance. You should take, consume, or do everything in balance in a homeostatic manner. So this is one more example I will give you, that if you are having recurrent cold cough or recurrent throat infection, you get enlarged tonsils. Now these tonsils are the glands of the lymphatic system. So ये enlarge होते हैं क्योंकि ये आपके टॉक्सिन्स, बैक्टीरिया, वायरसेस यहाँ लेके जाके उसको पकड़ के रखते हैं so that it doesn't spread the lymph node. So that is why they get enlarged. So there is always not, it is always not necessary to remove the tonsils if they are enlarged. Only if there is too much of repeated and frequent infection in the body where tonsils just don't reduce in size and shape and they start getting inflamed themselves or toxic themselves. That is the time tonsillectomy becomes important. Otherwise थोड़ा सा गले में ये और टॉन्सिल सूज गए उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप टॉन्सिल्स निकाल लो. They are the preventive glands of the body. Okay, so this way many of the lymphatic glands, when they get enlarged and all, they do the preventive function of removing toxins and removing bacteria, withholding them so that they don't spread in the body. Same applies even for cancer which is spreading. When the cancer starts spreading, first the lymphatic glands around that area gets swollen. Of course, lymphatic gland से अगर pass हो जाता है तो you can't prevent cancer from spreading. But that is the sign. If you get the enlarged lymphatic gland in cancer surgery, they want to remove it to stop the further spread. Okay, so lymphatic glands are that way very important. You can see the areas of the lymphatic gland where all they are situated around the clavicles, in the neck, in your armpits, in your mesentery, the abdomen, in your groin, that is inguinal region, and in and around your knee joint, the popliteal fossa. Okay, so they are all there to prevent the further spread of infection or spread of any toxins or anything in the body. But once they are engorged and they are not able to go down, that is the time you need to remove them.
Ma'am,
Haji.
ma'am, are you talking about they remove the tissues when you're talking about the cancer thing? Do they remove the tissues?
No, they remove the cancerous part of the body, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you see the surrounding lymph nodes which are, enlarged or something, it is assumed that there is a spread and the lymph node is enlarged because it was trying to prevent. So then they want to remove that lymph gland also.
Okay.
The surrounding lymph gland.
Is she talking about the biopsy or?
Yeah. I was actually talking about
biopsy is done later after removal of the gland. We are talking of the lymph glands being engorged. They do the preventive function, and that is why they try to hold on to the bad tissue of the body, the bad whatever toxin or whatever infection or bacteria, whatever it is. Let it be viral also. So that is the time the lymphatic glands get enlarged, engorged, like your tonsils.
Okay.
Anywhere, if there is a breast cancer, your armpit, the lymph glands of your armpit start getting enlarged. And this is the sign that we feel that the disease has gone beyond your breast. And from here, there is a likelihood of it being spread further. So that is why during, for example, if you're talking of breast surgery or removal, radical mastectomy, they remove the lymph glands also to prevent the further spread.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So now we go to the endocrine system. The major gland of endocrine system, major glands of the endocrine systems are hypothalamus, which is there in the brain, the pituitary gland, which you must have heard of, the thyroid gland, will be knowing it very well, the adrenals, which are situated above the kidneys, and of course the reproductive organs also. The 5 functions of the endocrine system: metabolism and tissue maturation. मैंने tissue maturation का आपको first moment पे ही बताया था in differentiation and the growth of the fetus in the womb. Okay, so this happens because of the tissue maturation and because of the endocrine hormones. Okay, Metabolism also is a part of it, which is a chemical reaction which is happening. The endocrine system is also the immune system regulator. अपनी immunity को regularize करने के लिए endocrine plays the most important part. The hormones and the chemicals secreted from hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid, adrenals, and all reproductive hormones also. They are all immune regulators, very importantly. That is why the disease in older people, where the secretions become uh, reduced, diminished because of the age, you are more prone and vulnerable to any further infection. पता है ना, अभी कोविड में भी older people are getting more affected because of their endocrine system which has slowed down. Okay, it also regulates your heart rate and blood pressure. The endocrine system, one of the main functions of the endocrine system is also that it control of the reproductive functions. As you all know, the estrogen, the progesterone, and all the other reproductive hormones are secreted by the endocrine system, the thyroid and the pituitary mainly. There is also the control of blood, glucose, and other nutrients, which is done by the endocrine system. Right? There are endocrine and exocrine, two types of enzymes which are secreted, and one of it controls the blood glucose and the other nutrients in the body. So this is the function of the endocrine system. You can see the situation of the endocrine glands. Where is hypothalamus? Where is pituitary? Where is pineal body? Where is thyroid? Then there is parathyroid and the thymus, which goes functionless after the age of maybe when the child grows beyond 7, 8, or sometimes 10 or 12. Then there are adrenal glands above the kidney, which produces the growth hormones. Then, of course, kidneys by itself, the pancreas, as you know, insulin is secreted by pancreas, which is an endocrine thing. And then the ovaries also secrete hormones, the uterus and the testes. So this is the whole endocrine system and the glands of the endocrine system.
Ma'am, 1 minute. Ma'am, PCOS, PCOD problems are related to connected with endocrine system?
Yes, yes, yes. Mainly pituitary से जो secretions आते हैं और ovary से locally आते हैं, which on the 14th day of menstruation makes the follicles of your ovary burst, which is called the conception time. वो follicles burst नहीं होते हैं because of the imbalance of the hormones in the body, and this is how the follicles form the cysts, and it is called the PCOD.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So today we will go to digestive system, which will be the last system for today. We've got 10 minutes left or less than 10 minutes left. So अभी बहुत tiring नहीं होगा आपके लिए. We'll do the other systems tomorrow, or fresh next time, I mean. So digestive system consists of salivary glands in the mouth. Everybody knows the saliva which is secreted from there. It is very important that you chew your food properly before gulping it down. Take your time to eat. French dinner lena bahut zaruri hai, where people keep on eating for 3 to 4 hours, but we don't have time. In India, everybody is working so much and so fast that you don't have time even to eat. But very important is salivary gland, where you need to chew your food. Absolutely make it soluble before it goes into your stomach. Then, of course, the intestines, the pancreas, and the liver are the parts of the digestive system. The 5 major functions of the digestive system are intake and digestion of food. Okay, so intake of food, digestion of food, there are secretions of fluids and digestive enzymes which happen from right from the mouth to your stomach, from your liver, from your gallbladder, from your duodenum, even a little bit from your intestines. So then at all the levels, the food is being digested. Another function is absorption of nutrients from the digestive food. This is also the part of the function of the digestive system. There is also the production of cellular energy, ATP. As I told you, oxygen, breathing in oxygen is also the main source of adenotriphosphatase, which gives you instant energy. So when you eat food, you get instant energy because of the ATP. It is a cellular energy. And then the elimination of solid waste products also. It is a part of the function of the intestine. Correct? So these are all the functions of the digestive system, which you can see right from a salivary gland. Even the tongue helps you, to churn your food in the mouth. Then there is epiglottis and the glottis, from which the food you can swallow in the food, where this moves through the esophagus. It goes down into your stomach where it is digested further. Then there is a secretion of enzymes from the liver and then the gallbladder also. The food which is digested, that is in the duodenum. So further digestion happens in the duodenum, where the food then passes down. Meanwhile, the nutrients are being absorbed in the small intestine maximum through the blood vessels. The nutrient is given to your whole body. It passes through the whole body, and then whatever the waste is remaining passes to your large intestine on the right side, where there is an ascending column. अभी भी food को absorb करने के लिए, the nutrient should be absorbed further from the waste also. So with the help of water, the food goes up through the ascending colon, and then it passes through the transverse colon, and then the final waste material comes down through the descending colon, and then of course the sigmoid colon, the rectum, and then finally comes out from the anus. So this is all about the digestive system. This is how the movement of food and nutrient takes place in the digestive system of your body, and then it is absorbed ultimately. We'll do the reproductive system on Thursday, and so on, whatever is remaining. Fine? Any questions?
Ma'am, I have a question. Can I ask?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So this right now, what we are studying, anatomy and physiology. So my question is, as per this stream of acupuncture, are there any central features through which, when we see this anatomy and physiology, so maybe some kind of changed additions in terms of acupuncture, are there any? So that is what my question was.
No. I didn't understand your question.
According
You mean
to
to
acupuncture,
further study?
No. What my question is, according to acupuncture, is there
Mhm.
any changed kind of perception through which we can see anatomy and physiology? Because this right now we are studying is the anatomy and physiology, whatever it is there, as
Loudly bolo na. Please be loud. Huh?
Yeah, sorry. This
Yeah.
right now what we are studying, the anatomy and the physiology, it is mentioned in a standard way. So as per acupuncture, are there any additions, through which maybe as a changed
No. This,
perspective?
what I am teaching you, see, as I told you, anatomy, physiology is a vast subject which we cover in 1.5 years of study. It cannot be completed so soon. But what you are learning right now is pertaining to acupuncture and its points only.
Yeah, I got it. I thought as per acupuncture, are there any certain areas, maybe as per acupuncture, some system is emphasized in a different way. That is what my question was.
Nilima Ben, can I answer this, please?
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
sir.
See, what your question is, ki how it is related, means how it is affected to know this. For example, I'm giving you, ki liver is what you can say, when we treat some kind of jaundice, the jaundice can be seen in the eyes. Okay, so in this system, if you understand ki how the liver is, what is the function of the liver, what is the use of the liver in digestive system, and how it produces bile system and bile salts.
Right.
Okay, and then how liver meridian is connected with the eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
Got
Was
it.
that your question?
Whatever I
correct,
understood, I'm
correct.
trying to answer your question.
Okay, sir.
Please understand, fundamental human sciences does not change. Okay, that remains constant. जो एनाटॉमी और फिजियोलॉजी ह्यूमन साइंस में सिखाई जाती है वो सेम रहेगा, राइट? अब एक्यूपंक्चर एंगल से लीवर का फंक्शन एडिशनली या डिफरेंट क्या हो सकता है, दैट इज डिफरेंट.
Right. That is what my question was. Right.
Yes. So when I am talking, for example, I will be talking about liver as one of the resources for blood manufacturing, storing the blood, and it is also responsible for the circulation of the blood.
Right.
That will be the additional information from acupuncture point of view, the additional function. And that is how from the symptomatology you can understand how to go about it to diagnose and treat. Clear?
Yeah. Okay, sir. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you all for the patient hearing.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
See
you,
all
ma'am.
next
Thank you,
Tuesday.
ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.